Hello and welcome to this art workshop provided by Arts for All Nevada and Washoe County Schools District. Today we are going to be mixing primary coloured paints to make a range of secondary colours, and we're going to look at using very simple shapes, adding features to them to make these birds and make them all look different from each other. Materials you'll need are primary colours in tempera paint or any washable paint, so that's blue, red and yellow, and I've just put it on a paper plate to be able to throw it away easily at the end. Water and a paintbrush, and I like a paper towel to clean my brush. Something to draw around, and I'm just using a plastic cup. Pencil, black marker, maybe some sponges or some stamps, and maybe some masking tape and scissors. Let's just move these out the way and I will show you an artist that I like that has done something very similar to what we're doing today. This is a copy of a print by an artist called Satu Su Seki. It was done in 1820 and it's actually a woodcut print. So a woodcut print is a piece of block of wood that's been carved into a design, and these are then covered with ink and then printed. And as it's a book, it makes it easy to print several of the copies in a row. I like this piece because it's of birds, but they're very, very simple. It's just kept it to the minimum features that you need. So it's got the nice simple shape, two colours with the black outline to add the features, the beak, the eye, the foot and some feathers on it. He did a lot of just general scenes and also flowers and birds. So you might want to have a look and see what else you can find that he did. So I've also bought a book with me today called Tough Chicks. And I like this book because I love the story, but also the illustrations just show these really simple shapes. And again, just using small amounts of detail to show the features and make them look like chicks. So let's read the story. Okay, Tough Chicks. From the moment Mama Hen eggs burst open, she knew she was dealing with some pretty tough chicks. Penny, Polly and Molly shook out their wet fluff and immediately began to strut round the farm. Peep, peep, zoom, zip, cheep. They wrestled the worms, they raced the bugs, they dove off the fence after the pesky barn flies. Make them be good, clucked the hens in the hen house. Mama Hen ruffled her feathers. They are good, she replied, though at times the chicks did make trouble. Peep, peep, zoom, zip, cheep. Penny liked to grab the cow's tail to hitch a ride. Molly was fond of rooster roping, and Molly was partial to mud, lots of mud. She loved a good roll in the pig pen. Make them be good, called the animals. They are good, clucked Mama Hen. But sometimes even she worried. From the time Farmer Fred found the chicks looking under the hood of the tractor, we didn't touch anything, we just wanted to see how it worked, peeped Penny, Polly and Molly. Make them be good, grumbled the farmer. Chicks don't belong in tractors. Mama Hen looked at the other chicks. Some were preening their first feathers under the morning sun. Others were quietly pecking grain from the henhouse floor. Two were hiding under the mama's wings, afraid to come out. My chicks are different, all right, thought Mama Hen, but they're tough, they're smart, they're different in a good way. Peep, peep, zoom, zip, cheep. Watch out below, Penny hollered as she swung off the cow's tail and into the yard. The other chicks ran for cover. Careful, Mother Hen called Penny. Nice form, she added quietly. The hen in the hen house decided it was time to teach Penny, Polly and Molly how to behave like proper chickens. They tried to show the chicks the fine art of scratching for grain. Not a speck of grain was found. The rooster tried showing the chicks how to cluck in a calm and collected manner. Not a proper cluck was heard. The pigs even demonstrated how to make a nest. Not a single nest was built. When Farmer Fred found the chicks looking under the hood of the tractor again, it was the last straw. He leaned forward and fixed the chicks with a stern eye. You are fuzzy-headed chicks. Be cute, be quiet, be good, and stay away from my tractor. I have hay to move before the rain comes. The chicks watched from the yard as Farmer Fred drove the tractor around the field gathering the hay. But on his way back to the barn, the tractor spit out a puff of black smoke, gave a loud clunk and a long screech and came to a sudden stop. Farmer Fred looked under the hood. He looked up at the dark clouds. He looked worried. Then he walked to the back of the tractor and gave it a mighty push. The tractor began to roll faster and faster. It rolled down the hill. It was heading straight for the hen house. Bad idea, bleated the sheep. Move, bellowed the cow. What are we going to do? Crowed the rooster. While the rest of the animals ran for safety, Penny, Polly and Molly sprang into action. Peep, peep, zoom, zip, cheep. They swung off the cow's tail and onto the tractor's steering wheel, turning the tractor in the nick of time. The hen house was saved, but the tractor came to a stop smack in the middle of the pig's favourite mud hole. Mama Hen rounded up her chicks. I think it's time we showed these animals how good it is to have tough, smart chicks around. The chicks quickly scratched out a plan and the animals went to work. Under the hood of the tractor, the chicks tightened the belts, checked the fluids and patched a few holes with Molly's super strong mud mixture. When they were done, Farmer Fred started his tractor. It worked. The animals cheered. And those are some tough chicks, the animals said. I know, said Mama Hen. Farmer Fred stopped his tractor. Those are some smart chicks, he said. I know, said Mama Hen. She turned to Penny, Polly and Molly and gave them each a peck on the cheek. Those are some good chicks, said Mama Hen. We know, said Penny, Polly and Molly. Peep, peep, zoom, zip, cheep. And there's our 3 tough chicks on the back. These ones are all yellow, but they're a simple shape. You've got some lines to show the tail and the wings. Very simple shapes to do the eyes and the beaks. And these are showing their really fast legs where they're running around. So let's see if we can do some tough chicks. First of all, we're going to look at some words that we're going to use today. We're going to use our secondary colours and we make them by using our primary colours. So here's our 3 primary colours, our yellow, our red and our blue. And our secondary ones are made by mixing them. So I take some yellow and I put that in the middle and I put a little bit of red in there. It changes really quickly, the red. And that will give us our orange. That's our first secondary colour. We've got our yellow and our blue, which mixed together will make our green. And then we've got our blue and our red mixed together will make our purple. And it's interesting to note that you can change the colour. It's not just one purple or one of the secondary colours they'll make. If you add more of that red to it, we'll change the purple to a more reddy purple. And it works with all the colours. So depending on how much of the primary colour you put in will depend on how your secondary colour will look. Outline is the line that goes around the edge of the shape, and today we're pretty much using circles. But your tough chicks may have an outline that's a little bit more fluffy, and that still works. The features are what changes our shape into our tough chicks. So we're looking at the main details that we need to put on. So maybe the eyes, a beak, maybe some wings, maybe some feet, maybe even a tail feathers. So those are the parts that you put onto your shapes to give them a characteristic, to make them look like something. So let's start on our piece that we're going to do. So you will need a long piece of paper. Now what I've done, because some people may not have that, is I've actually used printer paper and I've put 2 sheets together with some masking tape or any tape, and I've put the tape on the back so we've got a nice long piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to have 6 shapes. So they don't have to be in a line. You can decide where you're going to put them, and you're just going to draw around, leaving a little bit of space in amongst them. I'm going to do one really high, one really low. That's 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to paint them in using my 3 primary colours, and we're going to work our way across so that it changes as it goes. Now I'm just going to paint them. Other options you might have is you can use a stamp to paint them, but you will need to make a stencil. So to do that, all I did was I drew round the circle on another piece of paper, fold it in half and cut the shape out. And then you can use a stamp that you can buy, which is just a piece of foam, and put it in and then just stamp it through. Or I made one of my own with just a spice container, some paper towel and some tape round it, and use that as a stamp to push it through. And when you take it away, you'll get your circle shape. Or it doesn't have to be nice and smooth. These ones go outside the outline, so they'll be fluffy, tough chicks. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. So I'm going to start with my yellow. I'm going to go around the outline first, and then fill it in. I'm just using my paintbrush, just like I do a pencil, using the point of it to paint in with. I'm then going to mix some yellow. Always start with yellow, it's the weaker colour, and a little bit of red in there to make my orange, which will be the next one. Again, using the point of my paintbrush, just like a pencil, just to fill in. Wash my brush, and we used yellow and red, so the red is my next colour. I'm going to paint all the way around the outside. If you go out the edges, it's okay, it doesn't matter. And then fill it in. So you can see why I've set my palette up with the spaces in between, because I'm going to take my colour into the middle and then add the colour that I'm mixing with it. And I do a little bit of a paint at a time, so if I don't like the colour or I want to change it, I can do that. So we've got a nice purple there, so I used my red and I mixed it with blue, so my next colour's blue. All the way around. I'm trying not to put too much water into my tempera paint so the colours stay nice and sharp. So again, I'm going to start with my yellow because it's the weaker colour, and add a little bit of blue to it to get a nice green, and paint all the way in there. So at the moment they look a bit like bouncing balls over the piece of paper or balloons floating up, but we're going to add some features to them and make them look like our tough tricks. But you will need to actually put that to the side and let it dry before you work on the next piece. So I've done that already. So I've got my pieces, my yellow mixed with blue to make the green, my blue mixed with red to make the purple, and my red right back to the yellow here to make the orange. So what I'm going to do is start adding features to the piece. So they don't all have to be the same, although they're going to have the same pieces on each one. So maybe I'm going to have my eyes and my beak. Maybe we're going to have some wings coming out like here. maybe we're going to have a tail feather down here, and I'm going to go all the way around. Maybe we're going to have some feet down here. Maybe this one is going to be looking up. So we're actually only going to see one wing to the side of it. Maybe the tail's going to go here. I'm going to go all the way around. You can decide what features you're going to have, how you're going to make them look different from each other, or maybe they're going to look all the same. It's up to you. You decide what you want to do. This one's going to be pecking the ground. I'm going to have a very simple wing shape here. So I'm giving you some ideas, but you can make them your own. You decide how you want to do your chicks. This one's actually going to be flying, I think. Let's get some wings coming out here. Let's do it going up. Going all the way around. So our outline going round the shape so that it stands out. Let's have one going this way. I'm going to make them all a little bit different on mine. I've decided to do a black outline on mine, but you can have an outline of any colour you like. Maybe you want to change them as you go around. So another one going down here. So there's my line of Tough Chicks, showing my primary colours, my yellow, my blue and my red, and the one in between is the secondary colour that I can make by mixing those two primaries together. So my yellow and my blue will make my green, my blue and my red will make my purple, and my red and my yellow will make my orange. So have a go at that, try and see if you can make those secondary colours by mixing them all together. If you've done that, you may want to have a go at doing something else with your colours. So I've done the same sort of thing again, but this time I've used a big circle for my mama chick, my mama hen, and then I've actually used some smaller circles to make some smaller chicks. I've done exactly the same, but this time, instead of doing the whole range of secondary colours and primary colours, I've just tried to use yellow and red, and I've mixed different oranges by putting different amounts of paint. So I've got a light orange, slightly darker until we get to red. And then what I'd like you to do is see if you can make a brown. So the way that you make brown is by adding all the primary colours together, mix it, add some blue and make some brown. And it's just the same as all the others. You can add more red to it, make a reddy brown, more yellow, make a yellowy brown, more blue and it'll become like a greeny brown. And just using your paintbrush, little lines to make a nest for them. You've got the green already made for the leaves. I've let that dry, and then I've gone round and I've put my features into my Tough Chicks, just like we did on the main piece. You might also like to look at the Angry Birds and see if you can design your own Angry Bird. Thank you for joining me today. Enjoy your colour mixing, see what range of colours you can get, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.